Hello everyone, I'm CoolGuy, welcome back, and today we're going to be going in-depth into the Iron Banner Pulse Rifle Claws of the Wolf. These reviews are so you guys can learn the ins and outs of a weapon, know its strengths and weaknesses, give you the tools necessary to form an opinion. Now, I do give my thoughts and its performance, and those thoughts are mine. They might be different than yours, and that's okay. Claws of the Wolf can be obtained from bounties, in-game scream rewards, drops from tokens, anything involving the Iron Banner. This pulse falls in the 540 RPM category, same as Lincoln Green, Requiem, Darkest Before. This is a randomly rolled weapon, and a lot of great perk combinations can come out of that. Let's start off with its base stats. It's tied with the Darkest Before for the best range. It has very high aim assist. Most of the stats are right in line, but it has the lowest stability and recoil direction out of all of them. It has a range of 41, stability of 45, reload of 34, handling of 29, recoil direction stat of 53, aim assist stat of 78, and a magazine of 33. If you look at it, it kind of looks like it has a medium zoom type scope, but it doesn't, because the Darkest Before and its pulse have the same exact range stat of 41. Both of them have the same effective range of 36 meters in PvP. That tells you that the only zoom multiplier is a pulse base of 1.7 times, but it has a very large zoom looking scope on it. For our barrel options, we have chambered compensator, arrowhead brake, extended barrel, small bore, corkscrew rifling, fluted barrel, polygonal rifling, hammerforge rifling, and full bore. Your top tier options are going to be arrowhead brake, chambered compensator. Both these help the recoil direction stat, which is very, very poor on this. And then there's polygonal rifling. This greatly increases stability. Having a tight burst is very, very important, and this very well might be the best option. The 540 RPM class have a really high ceiling, and we're going to talk about that later on in the review, but you have to be very, very precise. For the middle tier, we have high caliber rounds, extended mag, alloy mag, appended mag, ricochet rounds, armor piercing rounds, light mag, and flared mag well. Top tier is going to be your ricochet rounds. It gives the most stability while also giving it a little bit of range. High caliber is good, being that this is a fast firing pulse. There are a lot of magazine options, a lot of them, so you're just really going to have to see where the RNG falls. Now to the big perks. In the left node, we have 7 options: Snapshot, Outlaw, Rampage, Slide Shot, Head Seeker, Field Prep, Threat Detector. Now, your elite perks are going to be your Rampage, Outlaw, Snapshot, Head Seeker. Lower tier perks: Slide Shot, Field Prep, Threat Detector. In the right node, we have Kill Clip, Rampage, Outlaw, Rangefinder, High Impact Reserves, Full Auto, and Grave Robber. Elite perks are going to be your Kill Clip, Rampage, Outlaw, Rangefinder. Mid tier, we have Full Auto. Low tier is going to be High Impact Reserves and Grave Robber. If you notice, there are some double perks in the nodes, like Outlaw on the left and Outlaw on the right. This is a good thing. It's a chance to get a good roll when they drop, because it's not going to duplicate you. It's not going to go Outlaw, Outlaw, if that makes sense. And out of the gate, the best perk combinations start with chambered compensator or arrowhead brake, then ricochet rounds. Those are the best 2 starting perk combinations for this pulse. The top tier perk combinations in the right 2 nodes are going to be subjective. What might work for one player might not work for another. And as I stated earlier, there are 4 elite perks. We have Rampage, Outlaw, Head Seeker, Snapshot in that left node. The most high ceiling roll overall goes to Head Seeker Kill Clip. But even with a counterbalance mod, even with arrowhead brake or chambered compensator paired with that, this weapon still trails on you. It has very poor base recoil direction. Head Seeker is a great perk. You get some pulse rifle reloader gauntlets, because then you have Kill Clip along with Head Seeker, a very elite perk combination. And let's go ahead and show that on screen what the recoil is doing. As you can see, it kind of just jumps all around. On the left, we have no arrowhead brake, no chamber compensator or counterbalance mods, and on the right, we have arrowhead brake along with a counterbalance mod. You guys can kind of see what's going on with it. But another pairing for Head Seeker is Outlaw or Rampage. Rampage is another lethal perk combo, Rampage Kill Clip. You can do a lot of things. Rampage Rangefinder is really decent. It really helps to push out that effective range. All of it kind of helps with damage fall off. Now, Outlaw can go with anything, and so can Snapshot. And don't ever sleep on Snapshot. It's low-key one of the most underappreciated perks in Destiny, that along with Quick Draw. For the Masterwork, you want it to roll with stability. I can't stress how much stability is needed for a Pulse's performance, especially one with a stability stat and recoil direction stat like this. So let's talk about that performance. I have found that this weapon needs a lot of help. My second game, I did have a wee run out of medals, but the Iron Banner numbers kind of differ due to light level advantage, but the issues still remain. The base recoil direction of this on console is very, very rough. You want those ricochet rounds. I have arrowhead brake and counterbalance, and it still trails off. The burst is all over the place. It has a hard time dueling versus the 390s and 4 burst pulse rifles, like the popular Bygone's inaugural address and those 390s. They really outclass it. The scope itself is odd. Some may hate it, some may love it. The risk of the sight is the amount of flinch, the screen flinch that you receive. If you do get a great roll, I highly consider throwing on pulse rifle and flinching on your armor. I really consider it. I really recommend it because everything kind of throws your shot off. This pulse is a perfect example of role dependence. It could be one of the best weapons that you have in Destiny 2, but it all depends on that role. And with that, everything has to fall in line to bring out the true potential of it. Because you can get by with a perk here or there missing, or you have a really good perk combination at the end, but I stand firm that the chambered arrowhead break with Ricochet is the best starting point. You get that paired with Headseeker Kill Clip, Headseeker Rampage, you're in business, you're all set. But if you get Hammer Forge Rifling, Extended Mag, Headseeker Kill Clip, it's very different than that first option, and the performance of the weapon will show. That's how delicate its perk set is. That's not to say that you can't do well with that or another perk, but let's say you have Chambered Compensator, Extended Mag, Snapshot Kill Clip. That will perform decently. But the downfalls of the weapon, the stability and recoil direction, like that's a marriage, and we'll talk about that later on. Those go hand in hand, and when they're that poor, you're gonna have issues landing the shots that you need to. Now, I view this as more of a PvP weapon, and the review has reflected that. Not really applicable in PvE, in my opinion. There's way too many better options in the energy category. In PvP, it does 20 to the head and 13 to the body. It has the fastest TTK out of all pulse rifles at 0.8 seconds. Maximum effective range, we talked about earlier, is 36 meters, but don't let any of that fool you. This is a 3-burst kill. That is, I believe, 6 resilience or less, and that's all 9 shots landing, right? The average general TTK of this thing is going to hover a little over 1 second here. That's not good enough versus top tier weapons. That's not good enough in close range. It's really not. But that's why perks like Headseeker, Kill Clip are very, very important on it. And it's kind of a shame because these really shined in the beginning of Destiny 2. Time Worn Spire, Darkest Before, Lincoln Green, but you don't see them that much anymore, and there's a reason for that. The true downside of this weapon is recoil direction and stability. Those two stats are married for pulse rifles, hand in hand. You can't talk about one without talking about the other. You pair that with a scope that's kind of a higher zoom, and you have a lot of trouble with flinch and landing your shots. Now, I wouldn't call this pulse awful, but I won't call it elite. I'm not going to hype it, because it's not. It can be elite if you get the absolute best perks, but honestly, I don't see this becoming a meta weapon at all. Not like a Grasp of Malak, not like a Clever Dragon, not like the Bygones right now. The TTK in this sandbox doesn't allow it. It's not on the same level as those 4-burst pulses, the 390s, especially the Bygones. It's very role dependent, and if you do get a perfect roll, you can start competing a little bit, but still have to deal with the low points of this weapon. So I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on Claws of the Wolf. Now, I've had about 7 of these drop, and 3 of them are Slide Shot Rampage. That's how much this weapon just won't give me a good roll. Now, the 2 rolls that you saw during the gameplay are Rampage Slide Shot and then Headseeker Grave Robber. Not world beaters by any means. But I want to know what you guys got, what your thoughts are on the weapon. I really appreciate you guys watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.